Hi guys, it's Sarah from Tough Girl Challenges, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about my food preparation and the food that I'm going to be taking with me to the Marathon des Sables. 6 marathons, 6 days across the Sahara Desert. And you have to be self-sufficient and carry all of your own food in your backpack. There are certain rules with regards to the food, and you need to make sure that you're carrying a minimum of 2,000 calories per day. So I'm going to talk you through some of the different options that I had and the reasons why I made those choices. Now, please do remember, all of these choices are based on you. They're very, very individual. So what works for me may not necessarily work for you, and it's finding out what does work for you. So it's about trying things out in training, seeing what agrees with your body, seeing if you like it, seeing if you don't like it, and it's about narrowing down your options. So let me start with a couple of things. So back in 2014, when I was going to be doing the MDS in 2015, I attended the expo, and the expo was sponsored by Expedition Foods, and they provided us all with lunch packs, basically something like this. So this one is beef stroganoff with noodles. How you do it is just rip the top off, pour hot water in, leave it to stand, stir it after 10 minutes. And I had it, tasted it, awesome, great, tasted absolutely fine, no problems, no issues. And then fast forward 9 months, I was basically, this is not in relation to the food by the way, I ended up getting very, very ill, very, very tired, lethargic. I was overtrained, I had adrenal fatigue, blah, blah, blah. I was severely anemic. And one of the things that I needed to make drastic changes to was my diet and what I was consuming. So things that I needed to cut out were things like carbs, so wheat, gluten, yeast. So it was things like bread, pasta, white potatoes, all of that I needed to remove from my diet. And I've been having sort of a more paleo type diet going forward. So lots of clean meats, lots of fish, lots of vegetables, lots of nuts, lots of seed, lots of eggs, things like that. So one of my big concerns for the race is, what was I going to eat during it? Because I obviously need to make sure that I was getting my calories in and getting my energy from the food source. And I really did think that this was my only option, Expedition Foods, which I'm not slamming them, but when you read what's in them, there's like pasta 36.6%, the beef is only 5.4%, it also contains extra sugar, corn flour, salt, parsley, black pepper, stroganoff paste, vegetable oil, all of these different things. And there's so this one contains 594 calories and 7.8, per meal, 10.5 grams of it is from sugars. And I'm a massive sugar addict, so I need to basically just try and stay away from sugars. So I heard about another company which is called Paleo Meals to Go. Now this company is actually an American company. I think they're relatively new actually, and you have to order them online, which is what I did. So I ordered all my food, got it sent over. You do have to pay extra for the shipping, and it does add up. And one of the things I didn't realise is that you actually had to pay tax on it when it arrived in the UK. So it's like another £60 on top of everything I'd spent already. So it can get quite expensive. But these are absolutely fantastic. So if I read you the ingredients, basically cooked beef, carrots, onions, mushrooms, celery, spices, sea salt. That's it. It's really, really clean. So the calorie is only like 390 calories, and 100 of those calories are from fat, which is good. Good fats are excellent. So it's really, really good. So this is basically like a clean meal, which I'm super, super pleased about. So I've got a few different ones here. So I've got the caldera chicken curry, which is chicken, pineapple, and vegetables with curry seasoning. Again, it contains chicken, pineapple, spinach, coconut sugar, which I can actually have. It's better than normal sugar. Peppers, seasoning, onions, and sea salt. Super healthy. There's a few little snacks as well. So with like sort of the banana and pineapple. So this is Palisade pineapple mango. So I ordered loads of these meals, and I didn't basically want to take them out of the packaging. I thought I'll just be able to take the packaging, and that will be it. That will be it. So what I did is, this is my first pack that I made up. Now, I'll just explain what is in the pack and how it works. So for day one anyway, I've had a total of 2,898 calories from what's in this bag, plus my protein and L-glutamine, which I'll tell you a little bit about in a second. So what I've actually got is, I've actually got 4 meals in here. I thought it'd be really good. I'd put sort of like motivational quotes on my meals. It's like, enjoy dinner, and what else have I got? Go Sarah. So all of these are in the bag, and I've managed to zip up the bag. but it weighs like 886 grams, so it is actually quite heavy, and it also takes up a huge amount of space. So what I decided to test out was decanting the food into plastic bags. So this is just an example of what I actually decanted. So that is basically the size difference, and the weight of the packaging is actually 17 grams. So if I added it up, I'm actually taking like 5, 10, 15, I'm taking something like 25 packets of these for my breakfast, for my lunch, for my, not my lunch, for my breakfast, for dinner, for snacks, etc. And so if it's an extra 17 grams per bag, it actually adds up to quite a bit more substantial weight. So in this pack, another trial one, you can see that I've got, I've actually taken out more of the products and sort of put them in their own sort of Ziploc bags. This doesn't look the most appetizing food that you'd want to eat, but when you've actually just run like 46 kilometers, trust me, you'll be eating anything. So I've got like the fruit snacks. So this is, fruit snacks. So this is 170 calories, but really, really diddy size. So if I compare that one to the fruit snacks, automatically you can see the size difference. Although this flat's quite can pack very flat, this is actually lighter and will measurably be easier. So another motivational message for me, well done. So I'm going to obviously have to do something about those messages. So they fit into the bags a lot smaller, which makes for packing a lot easier. So I'm going to have to decant all of my food into the plastic bags and do that instead. Now, the other things that I'm taking with me are hammer bars. Now, the reason I pick these is energy bars or protein bars are absolutely fantastic, but I tried loads of different ones while I was training, and what I found was some of the bars would disintegrate with the heat. Some of them, if they were covered in chocolate, they'd be melting. They were really, really messy. And what I found with the hammer bars especially is these were actually really, really nice on my stomach. So I don't eat a huge amount when I'm running, just because it doesn't really agree with me. So, and because I have basically been training my body to burn fat, I don't really need to eat while I'm running for 5, 6, 7 hours. But I'm bringing these just in case, and super tasty, really good. Again, they don't contain like extra sugar and preservatives and the fructose and all the bad stuff basically. So these were pretty much the healthiest bars that I could find, which worked well in the heat. So I've got 3 different types. I've got the oatmeal apple, which is really, really tasty. Love the cashew coconut chocolate, absolutely my favourite. And then coming in third place is the peanut butter recovery bar. Now this one is a bit more calorific with 330 grams, but a lot of those calories are from the fats. So from like the cashew butter, the organic peanut butter, organic brown rice protein, etc. So these are the bars that I selected. Because I am severely anemic, I do need to take some sort of iron tablet. Now, for me, iron tablets do not work well at all. And what I found that works really well is something called Spartone. So I take one of these every day. So these will be in my packs. By the way, this is not medical advice. If you think you're low in iron, go and speak to a doctor. This is just what works well for me. And the Spartone is an all-natural supplement. It's from Wales, I think. And it's just from... Spartone is simply natural iron-rich water sourced from the mountains of Snowdonia in North Wales. And the thing is, these they do actually taste very irony, and it's actually very difficult to drink them by yourself. You need to have like a tiny bit of orange juice with it or something. Gels. Now, this is an interesting one for me because I don't really like gels. I don't like pounding down a gel every 30 minutes, especially if you're running a marathon. I just don't see how that can be good for your body at all to be doing that. However, I know a lot of people have trained that way, and that's absolutely fine. By the way, if you are training for a big race, don't change anything now. Continue with what you're doing. But in the future, you want to try and move away from gels. Now, during training, I would have one gel maybe every 3 or 4 days just to see what it was like in my system. And I did notice a massive kick when I took a gel. So this one does contain caffeine. And caffeine in moderation is fantastic, but I actually don't drink tea, I don't drink coffee, I don't drink soda. So when I have a gel, it's like the caffeine's almost like more powerful because my body's not used to having caffeine in it. So this also does have carbohydrates in as well, and it is like, oh, I can't, maltodextrin, fructose, flavor, citric acid, potassium chloride, sodium chloride, potassium sorbate. So all the things I really don't like putting in my body. But like anything, it comes down to a balance. I know that if I'm going to be running 6 marathons across 6 days and there's going to be dunes going through, that sometimes I will need an extra boost. And I'd rather have it just in case I need to use it. And part of my race strategy is to have a gel. If I'm coming up to a dune, 10 minutes before I get to the bottom of the dune, smack down a gel. That will get me up and over, and then I can carry on. I've tested it in training. I have them very infrequently, but I do quite like the taste, and these have worked well for me. And the Endura ones are actually sort of the best ones that I could find. And I felt as though they were cleaner than most of the other products out there. So that's why I've gone with a gel. So I do have gels packed in my bag. Now the other thing is protein. So this is my protein powder that I picked. So I went for Endura Optimize, and this is basically, I don't know if you can get it over in the UK. I got this over in Australia, and this improves endurance and speeds recovery, lactose and gluten free, and it's very, very easy on the stomach. You have like 4 scoops with water, and it's not like, sometimes protein powders can always be a little bit thick and they just don't taste that good. This one tastes absolutely fine. It's really, really easy to drink, really, really easy to digest. So really, really like this protein powder, but obviously I can't be carrying this around with me. So I have been doing a little transferring, and I found basically I've got some clean money bags, which I've basically worked out to be the best size. It's 4 scoops of the protein powder, and I'm also adding into the mix glutamine as well, so pure glutamine, which is really, really good for your body, especially when you are doing any endurance events. Glutamine can get sucked out from the muscles. I've got something here, so let me just read this. So glutamine is the most abundant of all the amino acids in our muscle tissue. When our body is placed under stress, and that can be from physical or mental stress, the muscle tissue releases glutamine, therefore causing tissue breakdown. So it's well documented that endurance sports can severely deplete glutamine, and the supplementation is important to prevent muscle breakdown, increase muscle glycogen stores, and to prevent illness. So I do take glutamine when I do training. So I've also added a scoop into my protein powder, and this is going to be my recovery drink. So when I finish a stage, I think that's not leaking. Oh, it is leaking. Is that leaking? But when I finish a stage, when I finish the day, get back to the camp, pour one of these into my water bottle, smash it down, gives my body the protein and the glutamine to help it recover. So that's that. The other really, really important thing for when you're running in the desert or when you're running in a hot climate is about your electrolytes as well. So if you just consume water over and over and over again, what can happen is you're just flushing all of the essentials, minerals and salts out of your body, things like potassium, things like sodium, and these are so essential in hot countries, especially with regards to maintaining your heart. So I again went with Endura, and this is basically an electrolyte mix, and it tastes like pineapple, tastes absolutely fantastic. I had 2 options when it comes to it. Now they had these little sachets for sale, which were like $2 a pop, or this big tub, which was $72. So that's basically, you just halve everything. So that would be like £1, and this would be like £35 in total. So I didn't want to buy individual sachets because you need about 3 of these a day, and it was going to be quite heavy and quite expensive to do it. So I'm mostly going to decant the electrolyte powder into some sort of plastic bags that I can use on the way. And the other option that I have as well, which I was recommended, was the Hammer Electrolytes Extreme. And these are just tablets that you can take. So it makes it a lot easier. Instead of having to fiddle around with powder, you can just pop one of these in every hour and you're done. So I'm definitely taking these. But what I found with training is when you're drinking so much water, so I'd say be drinking maybe 4 or 5 litres of water on long training runs. And drinking warm water, because obviously it heats up when it's on your back, it's just not that nice. And it can be quite difficult to get it down. Whereas if you add like a little bit of pineapple flavour or a little bit of lemon and lime, or something like that, so that actually makes it a lot easier to consume. So I'm just trying to work out the balance of what I'm going to do, whether it's I'm definitely going to take the supplements, but it's whether or not how much of the electrolyte powder I take along with me. So at the moment I need to decant. I don't know if you can see, I'll show you. So I look down here. What I've got is basically all my piles of food sort of laid out in day order, and I'm going to go through and put them into these clear plastic bags and label them. That's going to be my job over the next couple of days, to make sure that I can fit everything into my backpack. What I would say with food is it's so personal and it's so down to you, and it's so important that you find out what works for you. I know that I'm not great with like carb loading and filling myself up with pasta, pizza, anything like that. Basically just makes me really, really bloated and really, really uncomfortable. And I'm much better on just like clean meats, clean vegetables, and trying to eat as clean as possible, which is what I do. That's not to say that I don't have a sugar addiction, and I don't sometimes slip, because I do. But it's just find out what works for you. Make sure that you have trained with it, and that you enjoy it, because obviously for me, I know when I'm out there that I know what I get like when I am so hungry. I'll pretty much eat anything. So, and I'm probably very boring in my eating style, so I'm quite happy to eat the same food over and over and over again, so I don't get bored of it. Whereas I know other people, they need a bit more variety, so they've really mixed up their food, where I could pretty much eat the same meal for breakfast, for lunch and dinner every single day. So that's a bit more information on the food. There's loads more info on the blog at toughgirlchallenges.com, so do go and check that out. Thank you for watching.